This is the Stormgate patch notes 213 bug fixes. High APM players should no longer experience total client freezes late in games. That's great. Some more fine tuning. Unit active abilities should no longer have a negative effect on frames per second. Fantastic. Bob Overcharge can no longer be cast on command posts under construction. I'm blaming Albino for this one. He did this in a tournament game, I believe, and won. Launch sensor drone can no longer be launched from command posts under construction. Okay. Shroudstone manifestation can no longer be cast near shrines or shroudstones under construction. Enemy shrines and shroudstones with this one. This was great. This was something I did a lot. I didn't realize this was unintended. I thought this was intended, so I did that all the time. Fixed an issue where Nightfall Infestation could follow a targeted unit. Yeah, that's true. Nightfall Infestation was broken. It would never miss if you clicked it on a unit. It was always hit. Health camps now provide the intended heal rate. Fixed an issue where Lancers and Medtechs would unintentionally fit through certain walled-off areas. Magmadon's Trample can no longer affect air or structures. Medtech System Shock now correctly dispels Infest. And the Vulcan's Jump Jets will no longer be blocked by an enemy corpse. Okay. Nice. So some really good quality of life changes and some bug fixes. Nice. General, level 2 speed camps have been updated to spawn fewer goats. So this is bad for Infernals. This means we have less Fiends. Which means that Infernal versus Infernal is not going to be so maybe ruled by getting speed camp first. Maybe you could go for some other creep camps. The thing is, the earlier on for Infernals, you want to go to the creep camps that have as many minions in them as possible. As many creeps in them as possible, because obviously that's more Fiends for you earlier. And that's good. And you can basically kite every creep camp. Level 1 speed camp will still have 5 goats. Oh, that's right. They start at level 1, though. That's right. Okay, I thought they started at level 2 for some reason. That's true. Vanguard, the Scout. The Claws upgrade cost increased from 25-25 to 50-50. Early on, that's pretty impactful. The Luminites, whatever, but the Therium, it's a pretty big deal. Everilium Claws upgrade. Research time increased from 30 to 60 seconds. Okay, this is huge. So dog spam might not be so prevalent. You might not see like 8. You might see more like that last game, 3 or so. Medtech supply costs increased from 2 to 3. Okay, just making it harder to have so many in the late game. Hedgehog. I've really seen very little Hedgehog play, so I'm expecting some buffs here. Mobilized Hedgehog ammo recharge time decreased from 1.2 to 1 seconds. Okay, deployed Hedgehog ammo recharge time decreased from 0.6 to 0.5 seconds. Okay. Vulcan's range increased from 7 to 8. Okay. Trying to see more play with Vulcans. Yeah, they're really not made too much right now. So much of Infernal versus Vanguard. Again, right now, it's just Weaver, Brute, and Hellborn. Because of how efficient Exo, Medtech, and Lancer is. So maybe we'll see some Vulcans in there to try to just clear out Fiends. But you really don't need them versus Brutes. I feel like they're good versus like Gaunts. Gaunts, you might be able to take them for like Imp Tech. I don't know. We'll see. The Evac. Release a Skymine. Cooldown decrease from 120 to 20 seconds. Release Skymine now has a 15 Luminite cost. Skymines now persist until detonated or killed. I see. So this is to try to combat against, I suppose, in Vanguard versus Vanguard, like Hornet spam. And certainly versus Infernal, like Shadow Flyer spam. That's a huge change. That's crazy. Okay, Hornet. Reclaimer Stinger's damage decreased from 10 to 8. This is massive. This is a 20% decrease on their total damage. So, yeah, really making Hornets less effective. So we won't see them be able to clear out so many Gaunts. They're still going to do, I think, pretty well. But I think like the game that Albino played where he just made a bunch that we just watched, probably not going to see stuff like that anymore. Or at least not as heavily. And the Flat Cannon. Anti-air range increased from 10 to 12. And attacking an air unit will now only deal splash damage to other air units. Can you see skymines? You never saw any. Yeah, I believe you can. I had somebody make them when I made Shadow Flyers. Okay, Infernals, Hellspawn, Resurgence, Animus cost increase from 25 to 40. Oh, huge nerf. Absolutely massive. This is across the board, just a massive Infernals nerf. That 15 difference is going to make your early game economy way worse. So we'll see. It's going to be more important now than ever to get on the map and start creeping so you can make up for that Animus difference. So hopefully the scout changes are enough to actually allow Infernals to start creeping a little bit earlier. In your opinion, if you're using that button, it's a build/skill issue. It's like supply call down for Terran in StarCraft 2. What do you mean? This is the one that lets you instantly spawn 3, right? No way, dude. Being able to just chunk out 3 more workers immediately is huge. That's insane. What point in the early game do you have money for 3 charges? Probably like two base. Yeah. I mean, you could plan your build to be around this. That's what I'm saying. Your build could include this to get 3 more workers. So now instead of that, you're probably going to have to invest that into attacking units. I mean, I think it's huge. I think that's massive. It's basically just like saying that's like saying queen injects are just a skill issue. It's different. They were using it to recover after a bad fight. Yeah, I mean that's like a reactive way to do it. Sure, and that's good. But like you definitely could use this early on to just jumpstart your economy even harder. It should be used for macro if you can. Because just faster economy, that's fucking crazy. Anyways, this is massive. This is huge. This is a huge nerf. Anyways, Imp. Inflamed Imp. Damage decreased from 100 plus 100 versus structure to 100 plus 50 versus structure. So this is going to do exactly the same versus units, but this will do less versus buildings. Okay. I mainly saw this attacking units anyways. Yeah, you can use it on imps, dude. Yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, you're totally incorrect right now. There's no way. You've literally never used it on imps. Yeah, I use it on imps all the time. Okay, Brute. Sunder Soul ability now grants spawned fiends max white health. Fiend. All fiends start with 0 white health by default, down from 7.5. This includes both fiends born from Infest and ones that drop from Brutes on death. I like this. Okay. Movement speed increased from 6 to 7. Even better. Hell yeah. This guy is casting your replays. How dare he? Railgun, what's up, man? How are you doing, buddy? Good to see you. We're looking over the patch notes. So this is nice because it actually incentivizes you to manually detonate your brutes where there was no benefit to doing it outside of Infernal versus Infernal. Now it's better for you to micro. This encourages high-level play. This encourages you to pay attention to fights. I like this a lot. This is great. It's a fantastic change. And Fiend movement speed increased. That's nice. That means we're going to be catching more dogs. I don't know what the dog movement speed is. But yeah, no, this is good. I really like this change. These are good changes. Dog is 7 as well. Ah, nice. Okay. Sunder Soul ability. You think that's the name of the Brute upgrade? So just passive for all fiends spawned by Brutes. Oh. Ah, I thought that was the name of its split. What is the name of its split ability? Okay. I like that a little less. But that's still a nice Benny on top of that upgrade. Gaunt. Gaunt weapon bounce range decreased from 5 to 3.5. So you won't absolutely turbo roll a Gaunt versus Gaunt fight so hard. I don't think that really matters for basically anything else. Sunder Soul is the split? Okay. So, okay, that is what I thought it was then. Fantastic. Giga Nerf to Lancer passive. Hell yeah. Doombringer. Doombringer can now load units while in mobilize mode. Thank God. Thank God. Doombringer inner radius decreased from 0.5 to 0.1. Doombringer outer radius decreased from 1 to 0.5. So it has a less attack surface? I don't know. But this is great. Fantastic. Good. Thank God we can... So this actually means you can... Oh, no, you can just load units while mobilized. Wait, how are both of those decreased? Because it's the inner radius and the outer radius. So they made it smaller, essentially. So you can move around it more. But that also means that you can land it in smaller spaces. So, little bit here and there. But this is big. The mobilized mode loading, that's fucking huge, guys. You don't understand the inner radius change. I don't really know either, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure what all this means. I don't know what the difference between inner and outer. But, yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, probably does. Oh, no. Magmadon, consume cooldown increase from 0.25 to 5. Yeah, so that's so that you can't do what Pain was doing in the last game. So that it will now be a thing of the past, which is probably a smart change, to be honest. This is a big one. This is the one that I saw earlier. Hellborn. Supply cost increased from 5 to 8. Literally, like, what is that? 60% more. That's fucking huge. 8 supply more. That's massive. Granted, I will say this. I don't think I've ever hit max supply in a game of Stormgate because the max supply is 300. I don't think I've ever done it yet. So, definitely still big though. Like you're gonna have to be making meat farms like crazy. But the cost also increased from 150 to 250, 225. Dude, 75 more Ethereum into these guys. Oh my lord. However, 200 is 260 HP, which is pretty good. And damage increase. A damage increase of 20. So basically a 66% damage increase. So 50 damage. 50 damage a hit. And the splash damage increased from 15 to 25. Almost double. Almost double. That's so big. This is so big. I actually like this change, to be honest with you guys. I like this change a lot. I think this is a very appropriate change for the Hellborn. I think this is going to feel more usable versus large armies like Exomedic Lancer. I think they're great. I think this is a great change. They're going to definitely be even more valuable than they were before, but I think you're going to notice them being more impactful in the fights. The damage changes are crazy. That's so huge. Literally, each Hellborn is almost doing the work of 2. Almost. Just barely not doing 2. So if you were to have 2 of these, you're getting 60 damage compared to 100 and 30 splash compared to 50. So you're gonna be noticing shit dying way faster. So very good stuff. Shadowflyer. The Shadowflyer now deals 125 damage to its primary target and 50 damage in an area of 3, down from 125 to the entire area. A pretty appropriate nerf. Shadowflyers were pretty easy mode. It seemed like to just kill flying units. It was giga easy to kill shit. Now, at least, if you do catch somebody, their entire air fleet isn't just instantly killed. But I still feel like the Shadowflyer is so strong. Yeah, they're still going to be very good. Okay, Weaver. Lash cooldown increased from 12 to 16 seconds. Lash damage changed from 60 to 20% of a unit's max health. Okay. So the bigger the target, the more impactful this is. Does Stormgate Nexus have like a unit's... Actually don't know. Neuro Zerg just has a tab? Oh, yeah, that's when he wrote his article. That's right, I remember now. I need a sheet just with all the data, so I can actually do the math out on this stuff. Consume cooldown increase from 0.25 to 5. So this makes the Weaver a little harder to use. I think Lash was so good though. If you could control, it's a hard unit to control. It's a hard unit to control. But I think it was a pretty solid unit. As you can see, if you can get the control of the Weaver down and you can get the positioning right, it just absolutely slaps. And I think this is appropriate with the Hellborn change. I think we're going to be a little less dependent on Weavers to pull things in. And maybe we can start just taking a bit more defensive fights with less Hellborns. So, anyways, I think very good changes overall. I'm the most excited about the Scout change and how this impacts Vanguard versus Infernal. And maybe allows Infernal to creep a little bit farther or a little bit faster. I think it's a good medtech change. I think it's a good Vulcan change too, and good evac changes. These three I think are good. Hornet did feel a little strange. I don't know. This might be a little bit too much of a nerf. Maybe going down to 9 damage instead of 8. But we'll see. This is massive again. Like I said, Hellspawn Resurgence is so good for your economy. Not being able to do that, I mean, again, it's almost like a 50% increase. It's almost double. Sorry, it's almost 100%. And then very fun change for the Brute, in my opinion. Bit of a nerf to the Fiend and bit of a buff to its movement speed. I don't think it was lacking in the movement speed. But the white health being starting at 7.5 was pretty damn good. Doombringer, very good change. And then Hellborn, I think fantastic change. Very excited to see this change. Very, very excited. You think a Hornet was nerfed to 8 because of the Shadow Flare nerf? Maybe. Maybe. Anyways, fantastic changes overall. Really excited about it. Yeah, I think that's gonna be good stuff.